You know, losing someone close hits you like a freight train in the dead of night, especially when it's your brother in arms. The guy who pulled you out of hell more times than you can count. In there I was, Jack Thompson, standing alone in the misty dawn at Whispering Pines Cemetery in Willow Ridge, Wyoming, shovel in hand, staring at a pine box I'd hammered together myself, because no one else showed up for Carlos Rivera. He'd been my squad's medic back in the sandbox, always cracking jokes about my lousy aim while patching up wounds that should have killed us both. But life after the war chewed him up, lost his job, his place, then slipped into that dark hole with pills until it took him quietly one night. No fanfare, no headlines. I tried everything, called the VA, posted at the local vets hall, even reached out to old unit buddies, but silence, just the wind whispering through the pines like it was mocking me, and that ache in my chest screaming, "Do it right, even if you're the only one." So I dug that grave until my hands blistered and bled, lowered the box with ropes I'd scavenged, draped the flag over it, and whispered, "Sleep tight, buddy, I've got your six." But grief doesn't stay private in a small town like Willow Ridge, where folks know your business before you don't. Sure enough, as I'm tamping down the dirt, trying to keep it together, this truck rolls by slow, windows down, and out comes this mocking laugh that cuts like a knife. It was Brad Harlan and his crew. You know the type. Owns half the gravel operations around here. Struts like he's king because his family's been pulling strings since the gold rush days. And he's got this chip on his shoulder about vets like us, ever since some land dispute with an old Marine who wouldn't sell out to his expansion plans. Turned it into a grudge against anyone in fatigues, calling us freeloaders behind closed doors. Brad hops out, beer breath hitting me from 10 feet away. His buddy slits call him Derek and Mitch trailing like shadows, sipping coffees like they're at a damn picnic. "Hey, hero," Brad sneers, kicking at the loose soil so it dusts the flag. "Burying your junkie pal like some backyard pet? Where's the brass band, or did they skip 'cause he wasn't worth the ammo?" His words land like punches, twisting that knife in my gut. Carlos wasn't just some addict. He was the guy who'd talk you off the ledge with a stupid pun, believed in redemption even when the world didn't. But to Brad, he was just an outsider, a Latino vet who'd brought his problems to town, fueling that ugly undercurrent of resentment bubbling up from old prejudices and economic scraps. I bite down hard, jaw locked, shovel gripped like a life. Flynn didn't make a scene. That's the unspoken rule here. Keep your head low, pay your dues, but inside, it's raging. This storm of anger and sorrow, because honoring Carlos wasn't about parades. It was about not letting him fade into nothing. "Back off," I mutter, stepping between them and the grave. But Brad just grins wider, nudging the box's edge with his Buddhisting, always testing public land. "Paul, we're just here to pay our respects, or maybe check if your boy's even legal." Derek chuckles. "Yet no fancy stone? Couldn't spring for granite figures." Mitch joins in, flicking dirt toward the flag, and that's when something snaps. I plant the shovel blade down, ready to swing if it comes to it, heart pounding like back in the patrols, but outnumbered, exposed, wondering if this is how dignity dies, kicked into the mud by bullies who think power's a birthright. Then out of nowhere this low rumble builds from the highway, like thunder rolling in on a clear day, shaking the ground, impossible to ignore, and before I can blink, a line of motorcycles sweeps through the gates, maybe a dozen, chrome gleaming under the breaking clouds. Riders in leather vests with patches that scream Veterans Riders Association. Very disciplined, 2x2, like they drilled for this. They dismount under the old oaks, helmets off, and the lead guy, Hank, Chief Malone, gray-streaked hair, eyes like a judge weighing souls, takes one look at the scene. The flag, the scuffed dirt, my stance like a coiled spring, Brad's smug face. "Brother," Chief says, voice steady as a rock. No anger, just fact. "Looks like you could use some backup." Exhale first real breath all morning, and I nod. Yeah, I could." Brad bursts out laughing. Too loud, forced. "Oh great, the biker circus rolls in. What? You gonna sing Kumbaya over a deadbeat?" He kicks more dirt, aiming for the flag again, but the closest rider, Rusty, built like a tank, patch saying enforcer, steps in smooth. No contact, just a human wall, palms up. "Don't," Rusty warns, low and even, while the others fan out, shoulders aligning around the grave like a shield wall. Temperature drops, respect demanding space without a shout. Chief slips off his shades, locking eyes with Brad, not mad, disappointed, which stings worse for guys like him, a father, a son, a medic. He reads from the makeshift marker I'd scratched. That's worth more than your gravel empire. Harlan, now step back. We're finishing this proper. Brad puffs up, chin jutting. Or what? You'll rev your toys at me. But his voice cracks a hair, and when he reaches for the flag, testing that line one last time, Rusty catches his wrist mid-air, gentle but firm, freezing the moment. Cowards make noise, Rusty says, releasing slow, like dousing a fuse, and the VRA line thickens, boots planted, a silent vow. Try it. The cemetery goes still, me chest eases, that war inside quieting in. Brad's crew shifts uneasy, Derek swallowing hard. We didn't mean. But Chief cuts in. You meant exactly that. Now watch how real men honor the fallen. He turns to me. Walk us through it, Jack. Voice steady now, I say. Lower him. Fold the flag. Say the words. And just like that, they step up, ropes appear, gloved hands grip, lowering Carlos gentle as a lullaby, my breath sinking with theirs. In on the pull, out on the release, veterans of different roads finding the same beat. Townsfolk start drifting to the fence, phones out, whispers buzzing, but attention stays on the grave, not the spectacle. We fold the flag precise, lengthwise, triangles tight, until only stars show through the chaos. Chief pressing it into my hands. We don't leave our own. Tears prick not weakness. Release in, I pray, quiet. God of the weary and the warriors, take Carlos home, forgive our stumbles. Give us strength to carry on like he saw in us. Even the wind hushes. A crow calls once, then quits. Brad's truck horn blares, last ditch shows over, freaks. But Rusty blocks the lane with his stance alone. Sacred ground, take your crap elsewhere. Engine dies, bully bowed by invisible lines. We fill the earth together, shovels passing like a relay, mound rising steady, and Viper, another rider, quiet type, plants a carved cross. Burn SAR into it with a lighter, dark and eternal. Swing by the clubhouse tonight. Chief murmurs. No one sits with this solo. I nod, craving that rough company. Explanations optional. Later at the Rusty Nail clubhouse, old brick spots smelling of oil and stew, bikes lined like sentinels. I hesitate at the door, flag tucked under arm, then step into low chatter, cards slapping, no chaos, just faces that get it. Chief waves me over. Ethan spill about Carlos. I do trash talk, tales spark laughs, tourniquet stories glaze eyes, door bangs. Brad silhouettes with deputies, smug as hell. Noise violation clubs out of code. But Rusty smirks, sheriff's out back at cribbage. Sure enough, Sheriff Ellis emerges, hat off. Heard about the burial, sounded right from afar. Brad's victory sours. You letting these thugs run Willow Ridge? Sheriff eyes him cool. Decency's running it and you. Harlan, owe an apology to the grave, not the man. Murmur rises, VRA stands quiet, wall of resolve. Brad's jaw works. Exits vanish, he mutters, sorry. Shouldn't have messed with it. Dunmore ends with words sometimes, not fists. Word spreads like wildfire in Willow Ridge. Next morning at the market, clerk Lena slides me free coffee. Heard sorry, eyes on the flag. Derek lingers outside, mumbling. Was wrong yesterday, can I help with something? I eye him. Conscience kicking, hat cleaned but soul scuffed. Potluck set up chairs. I say, and he nods, relief cracking. Brad's truck cruises slow, stare promising payback, pulse jumps. But the card in my pocket steadies, and sure enough, 2 bikes glide by, Rusty saluting, 2-fingered. I return it, natural now. By weekend, VFW lawn fills with tables, crockpots steaming, guitar tuning easel with Carlos's photo, grinning mid-patrol, alive. I mic up. Carlos fixed me up twice. Ragged on my beard, nonstop, believed in folks more than they did themselves. Heads bow, laughter eases grief. Brad edges in, hands up like harmless, but sheriff materializes. Chief Shadows, no words, just presence evaporating his edge. He drifts out, forecast cleared. Dust procession to Whispering Pines, bikes, trucks, sedans threading like a vein line forms at the new granite marker, leather by denim, church dresses with coveralls, VRA, patches winking. Rusty sets a medkit at the base, nod to healing hands. Viper tucks a sobriety coin. Lena lays daisies. Derek stands back, cap off, listening humbled. I touch the stone. See this, Carlos? Not alone. Wind agrees, soft through grass. Later, alone with Chief among graves, crickets humming. Missed his calls at the end, thought tough love fixed it. Wrong. Chief pauses. Told my kin the same once distance digs deep, but showing up fills it. Don't worship guilt. Exhale, so what now? Guard the living, ignore cowards defining your pain. You've got a crew again. Night smells of rain, clean, green promise. But Brad wasn't done. Midnight headlights slash the wall, his truck rattles in. Him and goons stumbling with spray cans, drunk laugh cruel. Toward the marker, his starting. Heart thuds, no backup, but the card, dial, on way. I advance anyway. Don, this is guarded. Brad scoffs, by you. Engines thunder, VRA crescents in. Chief snatches the can. You're finished. Sheriff rolls up, court or scrub. Brad stares at rags. Solvent prides weapons, then kneels. Wipes gray to granite. Hour plus of sweat and shame. Us watching silent. Me holding light. Straightens. Didn't know him. Should have left it. Now you do. Carlos saved strangers you'll never thank. He leaves wordless apology and labor. Sunday ride forms unbidden, flags whipping respectful through Willow Ridge. Kids pointing, elders saluting. At the cemetery, I read Carlos's mom's letter. Gracias for loving him from afar. Voice cracks, Rusty squeezes shoulder. Chief, honor ain't flash, its stance. Heads bow timeless. Town shifts by degrees, only way it does. Weeks on, I volunteer at the vet center, brewing Joe. Ears open, say Carlos's name till it mends. Willow Ridge men's 2-gate fixed. Brad's crew tests no more. Derek sets chairs early. Lena stacks bread quiet. Ride pillion with Rusty. Sometimes wind scrubs thoughts at lights. Stairs avert from patches, but it's fine. Useful over light. Spring dawn. I lay fresh daisies. Brush grit. Sit talking short truths. Meadowlark sings. Bike fires distant, then hushes. Set chiefs bearing coin down. Pocketed some for the living. Riders crest hill. Slow. 2 fingers salute. I return. Man without uniform. Grief good now. Love's echo. Dignity's weight balances, watch on. But here's the thing that sticks. Was it right? Us leaning on the VRA like that, vigilantes or guardians? Brad got humbled, sure, but in a town where power plays dirty, does muscle for good cross lines, or just level the field? What do you think, was justice served, or just another cycle? Drop a comment. Your take on honor, bullies, community mending. Subscribe if this hit home. Hit that bell. Share if you've stood alone, then found your crew. Thanks for listening. Keeps these stories alive.